Do you know a family member or friend who has been sexually abused? Or maybe you have been the victim of sexual abuse? Are you aware of psychological and developmental implications it can have on you or someone you may know? Chances are you don't. While sexual abuse is common, many people do not speak up and the problems stay unnoticed. My name is Muhammad Idlan Syahmi bin Zubir and my metric number is A182140. I used to wonder as to why these victims never speak up and report their perpetrators sooner. It would have been easier for authorities to apprehend and prosecute the predators if they had done so. However, as I grew older and did more reading on the subject, I discovered that being sexually abused developed a feeling of dehumanization in the victims. This feeling of shame separates victims from the public, resulting in a low percentage of assault cases being reported. Therefore, today, I will urge and persuade the audience of the importance of speaking out against sexual harassment. This is because only then the predator will be called out and held accountable, offering lessons to the people surrounding them in order for them to learn and can improve the victim's mental health. I will proceed my speech by telling you the first reasons. First and foremost, I want to persuade you that by speaking out against sexual harassment, all predators and offenders will be uncovered and punished accordingly. By exposing sexual assault, offenders who have a pattern of attacking several victims lose their ability to look in the shadows. Based on analysis of the amount of social media comments by Malaysians on the subject, the hashtag #MeToo movement, which sparked a global wave of victims calling out sexual harassers, appears to have had an influence in the country as well. Sexual violence feeds on silence, while not all trauma survivors are able to tell their tales. Those who feel driven and supported to do so struggle to regain personal and community power. In her article on the misconception of forgiveness, Megan Feldman Buttercott writes, to recover from trauma and change the culture that enables sexual abuse, we must be able to speak the truth, protect ourselves, seek justice, and let go of our resentment. Women and some men said they had been victims of sexual harassment or abuse in the past, with the majority of cases purportedly perpetrated by person they knew and trusted. Those who named their perpetrators state that they did it to prevent other people from going through the same agony. Victims of sexual assault or harassment should document or report instances as soon as possible so that the perpetrators can be brought to justice. There will be no investigation, no charge by the deputy public prosecutors, no trials and no sentencing if the victim do not report to the police. If the incident occurred in several years ago, it would be more difficult to provide solid evidence in court. Sexual offences are punishable by imprisonment and whipping if perpetrators are proven guilty under Section 376 and subsections of 377 of the Penal Code. Now, we already know by speaking out against sexual harassment can call out the predators. Let me tell you the next reason. Next, speaking out against sexual harassment can give the lessons to the people around you. It can inspire other victims who are afraid to express their experience to speak out as well. People who have been sexually assaulted often withhold reporting their attacks for fear of being blamed, ignored, or the silence receiving no repercussions. This is why the victims are afraid or cowardly to report or speak out about an assault. Survivors of sexual assault who speak out publicly helps break the silence around this crime. The act of speaking out can help other survivors overcome their erroneous sense of shame. They may be inspired to do the same after seeing you overcome your guilt. When more people know that they are not alone in a situation, they can feel more secure and confident in talking about traumatic experiences because safety comes in number. As proof, earlier this year, the catalyst to #MeToo movement received a historic update. as Harvey Weinstein was convicted of 2 sex crimes. Over 80 people come forward during the movement and accused him of sexually abusing them. Then, other victims also came forward to speak out about the assault too. Besides, it also provides general knowledge about sexual harassment to the general public. When the victim speaks out about an assault he or she experienced to the organization or media, the general public will get some message about sexual harassment indirectly by listening or reading to their stories. Your act of speaking out of the power to heal and change on a broader scale than you may know. For example, people can get message about sexual harassment is an offense under the law, the effect of sexual harassment to the victim's life, and many more. Thus, people will be more careful in their daily life, like start learning martial arts in order to prevent from being a victim of sexual assault. You see, it's really important to speak out against sexual harassment because it can give good impact to people around you. Now, let's look at the last reasons. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, speaking out against the assault can improve the victim's mental health. Mental health issues resulting from sexual harassment. Survivors of sexual assault may feel as their bodies aren't truly their own after the assault. Shame, horror, and guilty are common sensations experienced by survivors. Many blame themselves for the assault. Survivors of sexual abuse may be at risk for mental health problems as a result from trauma and unpleasant feelings associated with it. Survivors of sexual abuse may experience depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, attachment troubles, and other problems. According to well-known studies, the first step in recovering from sexual trauma is safely sharing what happened. Sexual trauma recovery is not a straightforward yet another procedure. Each individual is a master of their own process of healing. Survivors undertake to speak out the unspeakable in public in the belief that it will help others. They feel a sense of belonging to a force greater than themselves by doing so. Louise, one of the victims, said she has felt not just that speaking out helped other survivors feel less alone, but she too felt less alone as she joins others fighting the same battle. It's also really powerful to have been able to turn her personal struggle into opportunity to help other survivors. She claimed that by speaking out, she contributes to destruction of the force that have wronged and wounded her. This has been one of the most important factors in her recovery. It's a fantastic method to fight back and help to alleviate one's own anxiety and humiliations. There's even a tinge of vengeance for the people who tried to silence her. I'm sure by now I have managed to convince you to speak out against sexual harassment because there are many reasons as I stated before. Let me conclude my speech. I've given you 3 reasons why speaking out against sexual harassment is important. Let me remind you that speaking out against this assault can help calling out the predators and hold them accountable, and also offers lessons to the people surrounding in order for them to learn as well. It also can improve the victim's mental health. All in all, I am in no way of pressuring any of the victims to come forward and talk about their horrible experiences if they do not feel like it. These are all the advantages and rewards of speaking out against the abuse you will receive whenever you are ready to talk about it. Contemplate and address trauma at your own tempo. So, just like any long trip, move at your own pace but don't try to complete it on your own. There may appear to be a million reasons to remain silent and remain still. However, there are millions more reasons to voice the unspeakable and get on with it. There is a choice in every situation. You have the option of becoming a victim or taking the action to improve the circumstance. It is completely on you.